This week on Dumb Pitches, my guest is Bo Johnson, and we have some of the silliest apparel ideas I've ever heard, plus a personal story that's really touching until it involves a lot of ordering Cameo videos. It's a very fun episode. Here we go, Dumb Pitches.
What a bunch of dumb pitches. Oh my goodness.
Welcome to another episode of Dumb Pitches with Monica Nevi. I'm Monica Nevi, your host. This is the show where we talk to successful people about their worst ideas. What a great show premise. I'm excited for our guest this week. In studio with me, Bo Johnson is here.
Hello.
Hello.
And it's really nice to know you have a loose interpretation of the word successful.
And it's our favorite because people do mention that all the time. They're like, thank you for calling me successful. But with that in mind, we do like to start by giving everyone your credits, your good ideas, so they know you haven't only had bad ideas. So Bo Johnson, hilarious comedian. He was on Comedy Central's Heart of the City, the LOL network at JFL, which is pretty fancy stuff. He's also creator, producer, host of a show here in Seattle called Good Comedy, which is a really great show. So you've had good ideas. You've done good. You've done positive
They're very
things.
nice credits. They're all like just adjacent to credits people actually know.
That's good. Well, yeah.
They're like Comedy Central
there's like
sounds
a
cool.
word in
What's
there
Heart
somewhere.
of the City?
Yeah.
And then like, oh, Just for Laughs Montreal. That's cool. What is LOL?
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's a bunch of tapings they did that never aired.
We've all done that.
They ended up on Exumu TV online,
Jesus.
which I only
I've never
found
even
because
heard
I
of it.
looked once a year.
You're like, where is this? I was thinking about that like yesterday, that I have like really nicely filmed stuff that's just never seen anything. Not because I'd filmed, but I was like doing a thing for something. They're like, oh yeah, we're gonna do this thing, and I'm like, I would like those just for the tape.
It's definitely shown me that my idea of investments are different than other people's. So I'm like, I know they flew out at least 40 people to do this, and to me that would be like what I would make in years.
Yeah.
And they were just like, no,
We'll just
we're
see
not
what
gonna
happens.
use it.
Yeah.
But
That's funny. Yeah, I did like a big taping at the Triple Door once. It was like all about travel, and I had to like prepare to do like just travel material. And it was a great set, and I've never seen it.
we were
This was like
talking
3 years ago.
about staying in like bad Airbnbs. So when I went to Montreal, they gave you a hotel for 3 nights, and I was like, I'm gonna stay an extra day just to watch the festival and see the city. And I was like probably 24, 25 at the time, and I was single. And I was like, I'm gonna get like a hostel, and I'm gonna meet all of these like really cute European girls, and I'll be like there for the festival, so it'll be really cool. And I found this hostel with a jacuzzi on the roof. And I was like, you have like all of these visuals of like, it's like, oh my gosh,
Yeah,
this is
we're
gonna
gonna
be like
party
so
with
crazy. People are gonna be like
What's
so impressed that I was Just for Laughs, which nobody even knows
Like
what
Love
it is
Actually
in
when it
Montreal.
comes to America, and then
And
they're like, yeah, okay.
I got to the hostel and they had the hot tub on the roof, and I got in by myself, and the only people
The first thing you do, you're like, I gotta get in this hot tub.
the only people that sat in it the entire time I was there, this group of like 5 little boys got in with me, and I was like, this is exactly what I deserve. Like this is I don't deserve anything better.
You did not
than
have
this.
pure intentions.
Yeah,
and
no.
they could tell. That's hilarious. Just oh god. And I'll be honest, the most annoying people in hot tubs are little boys.
Yeah.
Because they play it like it's a pool.
And they pushed. I left. I broke. I went back to the quiet hostel room that I paid like $40 less than the private hotel room downtown.
Yeah. See, that's why we were talking about it, is because it's like, is it worth any more now that we've been traveling so much to not just get a hotel room or whatever? I don't know. Is it? That's a fun. Okay.
Yeah.
So all right. So I mean, you kind of dove into your bad ideas, but what else? What else did you think of when we sent you the criteria?
Oh man, I've thought of things all over my life that have been bad ideas.
You really had to narrow it down. Some people are like, oh, I had a hard time thinking of something, and Bo's like, I have so many.
No, there's a lot of things that have really not panned out. You're like, personal, it's like there's a lot of those. Business, there's a lot of those. I feel like I've had a lot of like when I say failed, the energy was not put into them for them to become failed often. but apparel ideas.
Really?
The first one, the shorter one, in college. And what I want to stress is this is going to sound like a joke, but there was a moment where I legitimately was like, is this my big business idea?
Like, this is what
I was
breaks
like,
you,
this is like,
how I become
I'm
a
going to go
millionaire?
on Shark Tank with this. Like, I was like, if only I had the pieces to really like tie this together. But I was a freshman in college, and we was like, it was where people were like sagging their pants still.
Yeah.
And I pitched this to my roommate, Michael. I was like, we should design like a boxer thong. I'm amazed it's not immediately registering with
I
you
mean,
what
I
this
don't.
is.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand.
So
what.
my brilliant idea is it would literally just be a pair of boxers with like a screen printed thong onto it.
On the
So when
back
you
of
were
it.
sagging your pants,
You could whale tail.
you could
at
whale
the same
tail
time.
a fake thong. And I was like, this is the best. I was
And
like,
you're like, this is
genius. Like, we should look into printing this. We could get them branded with different colleges. Like, it's like people
Like,
are gonna wear
everyone's gonna
this
love
around the
this.
country.
This is as big as Facebook, is what it sounds like. Every school is gonna want a boxer thong, and that's the.
Well, there were these socks at UW. I think they're actually a successful company now. I don't know University of Washington. I don't know what their company name is, but they became a legitimate company.
The Skyline one.
Skyline,
Yeah.
yes, where they have like the skylines of cities, and I kind of was like, this is going to be the boxer thong of socks. As if
So
that's even
what
a
did
thing.
you? The boxer thong of socks. That is how now we're all gonna refer to those
Mhm.
Skyline socks.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the boxer thong
Yeah.
of socks. So there's some, maybe it's marketing. I don't know what
Mhm.
program at UW, but they were big on like helping people like create and it was a
Yeah.
lot of products. So I knew the guys who made the socks,
Yeah.
and then they were good friends with another friend of mine, and he had these very popular shirts that were like the Space Needle with roots coming out of the bottom of it and stuff. I have 2 of them, but
Yeah.
that was like part of the class, was like
Yeah.
to make something, and some of them ended up being really successful. So you thought the boxer thong was on par with those things.
I thought it was on par, and I'm going to be honest with you, Monica. As I say it out loud right now, I'm like, I think it could. I'm pretty good back then.
Well, it is like, to me, that gives me like a Spencer's Gifts vibe, where
Mhm.
you'd see it and be like, oh, that's hilarious. I would buy that for someone.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's as popular as maybe, like everyone around campus would be wearing them.
Yeah, there's a limited market.
Yeah,
for
but
sure.
I do think they would sell some.
I think it would have had to sell in college.
You could do it as merch now.
Well, the merch that I had for a little bit, which the punchline of the joke, which makes the joke sound far worse without the context around it, is in reference to my parents giving massages, not how daddy does it.
Right.
And I have forever not wanted to sell shirts that I would not wear.
Yeah.
And I have something else now, hopefully that will work. But I was like, I got these shirts that said "Not How Daddy Does It" to sell on the road, and I was like, I definitely wouldn't wear this.
Right.
But somebody might, and they didn't for like 4 or 5 cities in a row.
No
I
one bought
hauled all
any?
of these. No, like
Oh.
people would give me money, and I was like, "Do you want the shirt?" And they're like, "No, you can just have $20."
That happens to me sometimes. Usually when sizes are out, but sometimes right now, because I'm wearing selling stepdad shirts,
Yeah.
it's some people are into it where they're like, yeah, I'd wear that anyways, but some people are like, oh, I'll buy this for my stepdad. Like, they very are specific about it.
Mhm.
And those people sometimes are like, I don't know who would wear that, so here's $20 or
Yeah.
whatever. Thanks, Dad.
So I went to Tucson, and there were so many. Like, I took them out, and people started screaming at me. I was like, I found the market.
This is Tucson, Arizona.
Like, some lady was like, I'll flash you for the shirt, and I was like, that's not necessary.
Yeah, no.
I just
$20
want
is fine.
$20. And the worst part is she didn't even get a shirt.
She's like, unless there's $20
Yeah.
in between those tatas, I'm not doing it.
She was out late from the show. I had all of the shirts I'd ordered minus the like 3 that I'd sold over the course of like 4 months. And there was a group of like an entire sorority was there, and they bought out every single shirt that I had. And then very similar energy to the rooftop jacuzzi. They were like, you should come party with us. And I was
Oh.
like, okay. And then I they told me the bar, and they're like, we'll be there in about 40 minutes. We're going to go to another party first. And I went to the bar, and none of them showed
None
up.
of
And
them
I was
ever?
like, this is exactly what I deserve again.
Just sold all these college
And I had a nice
girls
conversation
daddy shirts
with the bartender.
That's how it usually goes on the road. People are like, "Oh, it's probably partying and hanging out afterwards." I'm like, "No, it's usually just you talking to the bartender." About your daddy shirts. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, but really, the bad idea was the
Yeah.
boxer
But,
thong.
okay, I was trying to ease into the grosser apparel idea.
Okay.
So this is probably 1 or 2 years into doing stand-up.
Okay.
And Comedy Underground in Seattle, that was the club I would go to every week. And they had the open mic on Monday. There's a bar across the street. And this one night, a group of like 5 of us went across the street to this bar. We're all drinking. And there was also this guy who was like a comedy open mic fan regular.
Okay.
So he would go to the Underground every Monday to watch mics. And like...
Which is a weird type
Which
of
is a
person.
weird
thank
type
you
of
if
comedy
you do
fan.
that, but it's a
Yeah.
very specific thing.
So he's over, he follows us over, and he's there drinking too. And I don't know where to give the exact credit, partially because I don't remember, and also because if it was me, I don't know if I want credit for the initial idea. I think it might have been my friend Abraham, but someone mentioned that Denzel Washington, before he was like just a worldwide movie star, had a gap tooth.
Okay.
And another comic at the table was like, oh, park that clit. That was not me who came up with that, but I will say, similar to the boxer thong, I was like, that's brilliant.
That's good.
That's really good
That's
stuff.
great.
And I think a normal person would be like, maybe that's a little funny. And at this point in time, I was a big fan of the website Zazzle,
Okay.
where you can design your own t-shirts. And so I opened Zazzle on my phone,
Just right away, you're like,
and I
this is
found
too
like
good.
a picture of young Denzel Washington. And we made these shirts that said on the front with just kind of like Denzel Washington's eyes. And like mostly it was just like the gap tooth. Like it said, park that clit, with his face with the gap tooth. Still a very handsome man. And then on the back of the shirt, it said free parking on weekends. And
There's so much that first of all, it's a very visual thing that whoever said it. Like
Yeah.
that's a pretty, like it just gives you a, very visual.
very graphic.
And then I love that you were like, people need to see the gap tooth we're talking about. Like we can't just be like,
It's specifically this one gap tooth.
yeah,
It's
it needs to
specific
be
to
Denzel
Washington.
which is, I mean, I get it. He is one of the more attractive people ever, I think.
Yeah.
And so I don't think anybody would be like, no, that's not an attractive
Yeah.
person. So they'd be like, well, if I was going to do something insane,
The thing is,
like put my clit in someone's gapped tooth.
the thing is though, it's also a
Denzel
photo
Washington
of
would be the
him
one, I think.
very young.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm not saying that people wouldn't, but you wouldn't see this photo and immediately be like, that's for sure Denzel
Oh, I
Washington.
see. Okay.
You might just be like, here's a shirt that says park that clit with a like
Just-
kind of random guy's face that you're like, I think I know that face, but you're not quite putting together.
Okay, I see. So you're like, that guy kind of looks like Denzel Washington,
like-
but Denzel Washington doesn't have a gap, so that must
Yeah.
not be him.
He looks like Denzel Washington the way Clark Kent looks like Superman.
Okay, got it. Yeah, you're like, well, he's got glasses. That can't be him.
But it extends beyond that. So also at the time, I think several of us at the table were managers of weekday shows at the Comedy Underground. And we were like, what if you bought the shirt, you could get in for free at the club? Which we did not have the authority.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't
We
know if
had the authority
owner
to
would
let
let
it happen if we chose to, but not the authority to make that decision. But where it gets exciting, so the guy who's the big open mic comedy fan is at the bar too, and he's kind of listening in on the conversation, and he's like, because he just wants to be included, he's like, I'll buy the shirt. And he was pretty
Just
drunk.
one. Yeah.
I'm going to be honest, like, a better man, maybe hopefully me now, would have been like, we can't let you do that. Because he was like drunk enough where it's like, you wouldn't buy this sober.
Right. Okay.
But I was also like, it would be pretty hysterical if he bought this shirt.
Yeah.
And he's an adult.
You
If he
can
wants
make
to put his
decisions.
credit card number into his phone to order this shirt, he can. So we like go in, we run through the whole process of him ordering the shirt. And at the time, especially when you order like a t-shirt with words, a photo, front and back,
Yeah.
and you only order one,
It's pretty expensive.
it's pretty expensive. So with shipping and like taxes, I remember the shirt coming out to around $75.
Oh my god. That was like maybe 45, but that's
Because I think we did express shipping.
you're like, you need this now.
Now, yeah, you
for
don't want to
sure.
wait.
It's one of one, you know, you can't.
So
Did he do it?
yes,
Oh my gosh.
order
so
him the
he
shirt.
Has this shirt.
So
Uh-oh.
the next morning, I wake up and I have an email from Zazzle.com, and they go, the order you placed last night violates the Zazzle community standards.
Because it said clit.
And I got like pretty upset.
Yeah.
I had like this free speech warrior inside of me that had not existed until that point. Wake up.
You're like, I understand what these guys are talking
I was
about.
like, yeah, maybe some of these people are right. You can't make jokes these
you
days.
Can't censor. You can't censor me.
So I was like, you're not gonna let this guy order the shirt? Which I didn't care that you couldn't buy the shirt. I was upset that this guy wasn't gonna get the shirt.
Right, yeah, after all that. He was probably very
Because
excited.
like there's a chance he wouldn't have remembered ordering it. And I
Mhm.
was like, there's something so funny to me about a package showing up to
Showing-
his house in like 3 to 5 days. And it's like, why did I get myself?
Yeah.
And opening it up and seeing this like, maybe he doesn't even remember who the guy is.
Yeah, he's like, that kind of looks like Denzel Washington.
He's like, why
but
do I
he's
have
got a
this?
gap, so it can't be him.
So that didn't happen. Ultimately, it violated community standards because it is I suppose, to prevent situations like this from occurring, the Denzel Washington estate owns the copyright of the photo of young Denzel.
Got it. Okay.
And in this case, I
It's
will
like
have to
someone's
say
tried to make this
this
shirt
was
before.
probably in their best interest.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I mean, yeah, even one existing is probably not great.
You for sure could find someone to make the shirt, though.
Oh yeah, absolutely. People are crazy.
Mm-hmm.
People would put logos on stuff that you're like, that's not legal, and they're like, no one said anything yet.
Yeah.
So that okay, fine, all right. I think the biggest issue I have with this idea,
Mm-hmm.
because honestly, in general, I think it's funny and I like
Yeah.
it, but I'm very supportive of everyone's bad ideas, is the visual and the like mechanics of actually doing that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like if someone had a gap tooth, this is gonna be dirty, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm assuming someone was sitting on their face, as
Yeah.
you do when you love someone. And then did legit like park it in between. Then what do you do? Do you just sit there, or you're like you just shake your head?
This
like
is
that?
the kind of thing where when you do a show and they're like clean comedy only, you're like, is this clean?
Is
And they're like,
this clean?
definitely not.
Yeah,
this is
what about
exactly what we're
park
trying to get you
that
to
cli-
avoid.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god. Yeah, but that's like I just think so. Why'd you call that? Oh my god. Anyways, I'm gonna stop thinking about it. Is what's gonna happen. But
Yeah.
now I see. Here's the problem. There's at least thank you. Subtle. There's somebody listening that's like, I would wear that shirt.
Yeah. Somebody might go out and design it for themselves.
Yeah, figure it out. If you do, send Bo one and me.
This would have been like what we would have sold on the Boxer Thongs website just during
Just
the
stuff
holiday
like this.
season. Like this would be an exclusive. Maybe we sell it only on Denzel Washington's birthday.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing that, okay, you could definitely get around the copyright issue, but then you have an even more bizarre t-shirt, which is just a random
Just somebody
guy
with
with a gap
Yeah.
tooth.
Just put Mary Lou on there.
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell her. That's funny. Well, okay. I mean, that one is ridiculous. All right, we maybe have time for one more. Where do you go? This is like, we might have to put a new category in the dummies for, we give awards at the end of the year for people's favorite.
For truly worst
Yes,
idea.
for worst. And each category is like, but worst apparel is pretty
Let's
pretty
see.
good.
We could go, we could go in more of like a prank direction.
Okay.
Or more personal. Personal is probably less funny, but still stupid.
I do like the personal ones, but maybe,
We could do personal.
okay, let's do the personal one. We'll
Okay.
save. I do feel like we'll have to have Bo back because he was
Yeah,
prepared.
there's like, we're just hardly even down the list. We're just in category A.
I feel like we have
We're
more
purely in
apparel ideas
apparel.
in there, so
Yeah.
yeah.
There is more apparel,
Purely
I think.
apparel. That should
We
be
haven't
the-
even got to socks yet.
That should be the name of your company. Is Purely Apparel.
Yeah, I think that purely apparel, we would have the boxer thong. I think we would sell entirely products that are, like we would have white socks with flip-flops printed on.
I see. Ooh, hey,
That's
I
actually,
see.
that's pretty good.
That is pretty good. Look
Hello,
at that.
sharks.
Dumb pitch in the moment. That was nice. But yeah, it's like, whoever thought of the tuxedo t-shirt, same vein, I think.
Yeah.
They
I'm
were
gonna get,
they were right
I
on the edge
still
of boxer
think
thong, but didn't quite get there.
Maybe what I should do is I'll get some of this printed and I'll try to sell it on the road and I'll
And
see
just
if it
see
has
if
any
it-
legs.
I mean, the socks idea isn't
The flip-flop
Yeah,
socks?
it's not bad.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm about
Okay.
to be rolling in cash. This is, okay, one thing. I don't know if, like, who listens to the podcast.
Neither do I.
Yeah. Hello, friends. But I don't know if the thing about buying merch for the road, as someone who's mostly bought unsuccessful merch that slowly sells, is that you have to order it in large quantities
Yeah.
to not basically be like making back the same money, unless you're like,
yeah.
hey, want to buy a $50 t-shirt?
Mm-hmm.
And so the risk, you're like, can I make money versus losing money flying to a city? But if it doesn't work, then you just own 60 horrible t-shirts.
That's true.
And so this is what
I
I'm
still
going to
have some left. Like I still have some of the underwear left and stuff, even though it sold well. But like as you move to other merch, you
Yeah, or
just
sizes
have
shift.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah. I have always thought it would be funny to sell merch if I ever got to do late night.
And pitch
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
That's funny. Yeah.
But, okay.
I'm
Personal.
gonna do it in my vows.
The boxer thong.
Yeah.
No, it's not a boxer thong. It's like it's briefs with a garter.
There you go. That's, yeah.
Oh man, we've got every single
Look
holiday
here, but
covered.
invite it here. I'm ordained. I'll officiate your wedding. We'll do bow to a set, and then we'll sell merch at your wedding.
Okay, so personal. So, at the beginning of the pandemic, my now ex and I we broke up in the first month
Of the pandemic.
of the pandemic.
Okay, and how long had you been together before that?
Like about 7-8 months.
Okay.
So
it's-
not like I had like one other relationship at that point, which had been like 4 years, and that was the next one.
Okay.
But it was like the second person I'd kind of like, said I love you to and really fallen for. And so there was like the week and a half or so, like let's take a step back and see how we feel, if there's like a way to navigate the situation when we come back together. And I had a great idea. I ran it by my therapist in my defense, and she was like, that's a good idea.
All right. So we got blame to share here.
So I'm going to try to defend the idea a little
I can
bit.
tell. You're like, how
But
do
I
I
was
say
like,
this properly?
I was not picturing this as a end-all solution,
Okay.
but more like, is there a way to just like bring some levity into like what is a serious moment, and then maybe it's more comfortable to like have a conversation. And so over the course of the pandemic, I will also share, this was the biggest purchase, but I probably spent close to $1,000 on the website Cameo. Which, if you don't know Cameo is a website where it's basically like trickle up economics,
Yeah, fair.
where poor people can give rich celebrities money to deliver a message.
Mm-hmm. So they'll send you a video that like you
Yeah.
asked for, but you pay the celebrity to make the video.
So for the most part, I bought videos from celebrities where I was having them deliver fake messages to see if they would do it. Like I did one with John Paul Jones from The Bachelor, where I asked him to break the news to a woman I'd been seeing off and on that she should get tested for chlamydia. That was like a pretty good $80 spent for $25, like really cheap. He should raise his prices. $25, I got a video from, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on his name now. Do you remember during the presidential debates about 6 or 7 years ago? He had the little cardigan on and
With
the glasses.
Ken
Bone.
Ken Bone.
He was like a sensation for like a month. Ken Bone is on Cameo. I got Ken Bone to deliver a message directed to two parents' children that they were getting a divorce. But before all of that, I was like, my ex and I were fans of The Bachelor. And so for only like $300, you could get a message from Chris Harrison.
Oh.
And so I typed out the situation and I was like, trying to make it work, Chris. Can you bring it home? Also, this was before Chris Harrison was fired.
Okay, you're like, I want to clarify.
I want to clarify.
Before we knew he was racist. Okay.
Although I will say, before Chris Harrison was fired for like, we don't need to, I don't need to give a recap of the entire reason he was fired, but for kind of not responding well at all to what would have been an easy way to support like the Black Bachelorette,
yeah.
I believe.
Tasha?
Yeah, man. I don't remember what exactly.
It was Rachel.
He was
the one
fired.
Because there's only been like two. This
Yeah.
is the one that was before that, I think, that he said something.
Yeah, he was fired for really like what would have been a very easy situation for him to be like, I'm going to be supportive.
Yeah.
And yes, was a pretty racist way to respond.
Yeah.
So I didn't hire him after that. Although I did check on Cameo.
He's still on there.
More expensive.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, will you tell my dad I'm going to marry a black guy?
Yeah.
Chris Harrison, please.
He became more expensive. Maybe because he's like, I'm about to be out of work. I don't know. But
yeah, maybe. That's all he does now.
Yeah.
Is Cameo.
I was not going for that Chris Harrison. I was going for the then universally beloved Chris Harrison.
Got it.
And I got the video and I sent it over. And I would say it's like, did not change anything. I was like, I just wasted $300.
How did she respond?
She was like, that's great, but like, what are we going to do?
Great, but
what
also
are we going to do about like the actual
issues
situation
in our relationship? How do you think he did that? Was the video good? What he decided to do with it?
90% of it was good, but
Okay.
there was like a 10% that felt a little bit condescending to her.
Oh, you're like, that doesn't help necessarily.
Yeah.
But okay. $300.
So what gets worse is there was another breakup with someone else.
Okay.
Like a year later.
You're like, I'll just use this same video.
Not the same video. I like bleep out the name. And
Yeah.
inserts a different name in. But I was like, well, yeah, that video.
It was just that video.
It was just
wasn't
video.
the idea.
It was that relationship. It was that video. And it was like with another woman where I was like, oh, man, we really had the same kind of sense of humor. And once again, I wasn't like, this is going to
get winner back.
I'm an idiot, but I'm not
throwing
that
stuff
kind of
at the
an
wall
idiot.
kind of
Yeah,
thing.
I'm not like, this is the problem isn't that I
Send,
didn't
done.
spend $100 on a Cameo.
Yeah, that's
But I got one from the Love Island UK from someone who was in the like episode we've been watching the last time we've been hanging out.
Love
And I got this guy to deliver a message to her, and then we had like a second conversation after the breakup, did not get back together, and I saw her again like 5 or 6 months later, and I was like, we like talked about, you know, just everything, and also like that video came up, and she's like, it was so strange. So I 0 for 2
So yeah, that
with Hail Mary, celebrity delivered, let's stay together, Cameo videos.
Okay, do you think you'd try it again?
Monica, I really want to tell you that I wouldn't.
Yeah, but you never know.
But you never know. I think it would be really funny, like especially for like Ken Bone, if maybe
That's a really funny one,
the
by
next
the way.
time that I'm like ready to tell. Actually, maybe not even as a fake one. I think it would be funny if like I'm ready to tell someone I love them, but
Ooh.
I can't.
You're afraid to
I'm
say
too
it
afraid to
yourself?
say it myself. To get Ken
Ken
Bone
Bone
to
to
deliver it.
I mean, it is the overall like use of Cameo is
Mhm.
funny. That I don't
Yeah.
think that's a bad idea, especially because I think that's what it should be used for, is just
Yeah.
like silliness, right?
I know
But
we've
because I
all-
remember somebody bought Chris Mejia, former
Mhm.
guest of the podcast.
yeah, Josh
yeah,
Chambers
a rather long video
from Rachel Dolezal.
Rachel Dolezal calling him the coochie monster.
Yeah, I think I love the fictional cameos where the premise that from our friend Josh was that it was from Chris's mom and stepfather, Joshua. Josh is not Chris's stepfather.
No, he's
a
just
friend.
another friend of ours.
And they were trying to make Chris feel better about his dating life. And I think Chris, in reality, Josh should know this, had just gotten together with his girlfriend.
She was there too.
Yeah. But the video was him like Rachel Dolezal trying to make Chris feel better about
And
like
pump him
being
up.
lonely, and then was like, and Josh had put in at the end of the message that his nickname was the Coochie Monster, but he had spelled it out phonetically differently, and you could see her not want to say it.
Yeah. She really waited until like
Mhm.
a little ways into it to actually say it, but it was.
And it's very funny.
So the idea there of using the Cameo for like
For
kind of a silly
fictional.
reason is funny,
Yeah.
but then you were like, "Well, I'm already doing this. Why don't I use it for an actual reason?"
Yeah, and I still think it's kind of romantic.
Maybe you should try it when you're not breaking up.
Yeah.
Like in if you find a nice lady that you like, maybe get her a
Mhm.
Cameo that's just maybe say I love you or something, not
Yeah.
to say we should
Yeah.
stay together.
I think that I'm gonna get one from Ken Bone, but it'll be fictionally
Like,
written
do
in a
you want a
situation
Ken
where the guy
Bone?
shouldn't be saying "I love you" yet. Like I know that we've only been seeing
We-
each other for a few.
I
weeks.
had a great first date.
And I just want to let you know that I am pretty sure that I'm in love with you.
See, we gotta use it for good.
I'm gonna buy this.
All right, do it. I'm excited.
So long as I'm gonna say okay
we're supposed
on air. So long as Ken Bone has not risen above $60.
Okay, so
I'm
you
gonna
would
get
at
the
least
video.
spend $60. That's good.
I'd probably
Okay.
spend $100.
You're like, well,
now that I've
hopefully
said it out
stay it
loud.
at 25, but we'll see
Yeah,
what happens.
Hopefully.
He doesn't listen first and then raise his
Mhm.
price. But
Mhm.
okay, we had everything, emotion and silliness, and this was a great
Yeah.
episode. What were you gonna say?
As we wrap up,
Yes.
my final comments, I think my commitment to you, Monica, and to the world that's watching,
Yeah,
the entire world,
to the pitches. Yeah.
I'm going to commit to henceforth using Ken Bone to announce all of my major life events.
Okay, good. Please.
If I ever
do.
have a kid, Ken Bone's gonna be there. When I quit my job 2 weeks ago, I should have sent.
Have you made an announcement?
I
yet?
already sent the email,
Ugh.
but it
Oh,
would have
you
been,
should've-
should have had Ken Bone
actually-
read the email. It was a
Okay.
pretty like heartfelt email
When
too.
you get engaged.
When I get engaged, when I deliver, I get down on one knee, and she's like, and then I go, just a sec. I take the phone out, and
Ken Bone.
it's Ken Bone.
But now you know for the rest of time, if you see a video pop up on Bo's Instagram or something and it's Ken Bone, you know it's an
yeah,
important.
it could be big.
Yeah.
It could be good. It could be bad.
Yeah, it's an important life event.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And I'm
okay,
gonna make
well,
sure that Ken Bone makes at least $100 a year on Cameo. You're
I don't
welcome.
know why it took me a while to go. Oh, wait, that's not enough. Well, speaking of Instagram, where can people follow you or check your calendar, or where can they
Yeah.
come and see you live? Those fun things.
I'd say the best way to follow me is just Bo Johnson Comedy. Bo, like B-O, Bo Jackson, on Instagram or TikTok. And I have all of my dates in the link tree on Instagram. And I'll be in, I don't know where people are, but if you're all over, if you want to see a show, I'll be in like Portland, New York, Philadelphia, and Boston in the next month and a
Nice.
half.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We got people in all those places. Sweet. Well, thank you for being here. It was very
thank
fun.
you for having me.
Yeah, we're going to have to do another one sometime. If you're watching on YouTube, you can subscribe. And we also have YouTube memberships if you want behind the scenes and early releases of this show, plus more of my stand-up. And yeah, rate, review, subscribe, all those fun things. But right now, you can just keep watching Dumb Pitches.
You're weird.
Yes.